Hey guys, I'm Jesse from the YouTube channel Jesse the Reader, and today I am taking over the Penguin Teen channel in celebration of the upcoming release for A Map of Days by Ransom Riggs, which comes out on October 2nd, and to get you prepared for this book, today I'm going to be recapping the second book in the series, Hollow City. That way you can refresh your mind on vital information that takes place in the second book to get you prepared for this book, A Map of Days. Without further ado, let's get peculiar. Spoilers for Hollow City coming in 3, 2, 1. So we start out right where we left off with book 1. The Peculiars are setting out to sea to find out what's next for them. They're rowing for what feels like forever, and they end up sending Olive up into the sky to find land. When they get to land though, they realize that there are submarine hunters nearby. And of course they're spotted right away, and now they've got bullets coming at them. Pew, pew, pew. They found the giant that they had read about in the Tales of the Peculiar, and it ends up being a loop. So they loop it up. And by that I mean they go through the loop. Right off the bat, Jacob's stomach ends up hurting, which means a hollow is nearby. These Peculiars barely have time to take a breath. As they're being pulled up the side of a mountain, they've got a hollow on their bums. The hollow wraps its tongue around Emma's ankle, and she's like, "Not today, Satan," and she burns it up. Bronwyn drops a boulder on the hollow, smashing it up. We find a peculiar home where there are lots of peculiar animals. We've got a talking dog named Addison. We've got these chicken who constantly burn down their coop and also lay exploding eggs. We've got a giraffe-donkey hybrid, owls, mice, and goats. It's actually pretty sad though, because the peculiar animals have fallen into extinction. Addison believes that the Embrins are being taken to these punishment loops, which used to be a place where captured whites, hardened criminals, and the dangerously insane were taken. Their caretaker, Miss Wren, flew off to London to try and help and assist these Embrins, so the Peculiars set out to find Miss Wren, leaving Fiona and Claire behind. Next, they run into Becker and his crew, and at first they think it's going to be another bump in the road that they're going to have to ram on through, but when the whites show up at the camp, they hide the Peculiars and set up a distraction. It turns out that Becker's son is starting to turn invisible, just like Millard. The next day, they set out to London by train, but of course things cannot go smoothly, because things quickly go wrong, as they always seem to do with the Peculiars. The train ends up leaving without them, and with it is a trunk with Miss Peregrine in it. But they couldn't do much about it, because guess who came to play a game of peekaboo with the Peculiars at the train station? That's right, whites! They're then taken to a place where Becker and his crew are held hostage, and they're doing everything they can to get the kids to spill the beans on where the bird is. But no matter what, the kids won't budge. Thankfully, our bro Horace wasn't taken with the rest of the kids, so he manages to get his B squad to get the kids out of trouble. After this, they make it to a train at a different station and are reunited with Miss Peregrine. When they arrive at London, kids are being evacuated on trains, and so all these angry adults are trying to get the Peculiars on the trains, but they're like, no, this ain't happening. They're not about to be pushed around. If they can deal with whites, they can deal with angry adults. Horace and his bees end up getting them out of this situation. What would they have done without Horace and his bees? Instead of heading to the punishment loops, they decide that they are going to track down Miss Wren's peculiar pigeons, which are located at the St. Paul's Cathedral. And things are chaotic, with air raid sirens going off and bombs falling. After following some pigeons, they're led to this crypt that reads, "Here lieth Christopher Wren." And the key word there is Wren. They're on the right track. This is where we meet Joel and Peter, or Peter and Joel. They finish each other's sandwiches? No, sentences. The two are extremely close and use echolocation in order to get around. And when they're separated, they have a full-on meltdown. They came from a loop that actually aged forward, so Emma, Jacob, and Horace go into this loop. And this is where we find one of the peculiar pigeons, Winifred, and we also meet a new peculiar, Melina. Jacob senses a hollow nearby, so they skedaddle out of that loop and get back with the others, and they go and find this random house to hide it. Here we meet these two girls named Esme and Sam is actually our cover girl, and you might not remember the reasoning for the hole, so let me remind you. Jacob senses the hollow nearby, so the Peculiars kind of dash off while Esme and Sam remain at the house. A mine lands directly next to the house and goes off. This is when they find Sam impaled by a rafter. At first they're like, oh dang, this ain't good, but when they get her down, she's fine, and they realize that she's peculiar. So now the Peculiars are putting all their faith in this pigeon as it guides them in this underground station. Underground, they pass through a loop and get to this door that needs a combination. After Miss Peregrine gets the combination from the pigeon, she murders the pigeon, which should have been a sign that something's up, but the kids just assume that she's being overtaken by her bird form and is not thinking in her normal mindset. They enter a tourist loop where a carnival is being held, and this is where they find this building that's encased in ice, which turns out to be the Peculiar Archives. A mysterious woman approaches them, and when she turns into a wren bird is when they're like, ding ding ding, thing, we've found what we're looking for. They have found Miss Wren. She gets right to work on fixing Miss Peregrine's, but it's not gonna be easy and it's gonna take a while. At this place, we meet these peculiars who are forming a peculiars resistance. They plan to take out the whites and take back what's theirs. And they want our peculiar squad to join them. They show them all these peculiars who have been experimented on by whites, and it's not a good sight. All these peculiars are in really bad shape. Millard reveals that he believes that these peculiars have had their peculiar souls extracted and then fed to hollow gas. Now that they've made it to Miss Wren, Emma is convincing Jacob that he needs to go back to his old life. Jacob is pretty upset because he doesn't want to go back to his old life, but he ultimately decides that he'll follow Emma's wish for him. The next day, Miss Wren is almost done bringing back Miss P when we get the plot twist of all plot twists. Turns out this whole time it's not actually been Miss P, it's her brother Cole, which is not good at all because homeboy is evil. And now he's proclaiming the fact that the peculiars are his prisoners. The building begins to melt after Cole attacks Althea, who is the peculiar that was keeping the building frozen. An army of whites come and capture the children and take them to a train. But Emma's not gonna deal with this. She's had enough. She burns the guard that's assigned to her and then burns Jacob's guard. She gets lit. Then she separates Joel and Peter, which causes a cry loud enough and painful enough to cause everyone in its presence to pass out. While Jacob and Emma are able to escape the train, the others are taken away. Now we have the ending that left me shook. Jacob is able to communicate with his father and he finds out that his parents are in London, but the call is interrupted when he realizes that there's a hollow just chilling right next to him. And this is when Jacob realizes that he's able to control the hollow using a specific hollow language. And bam, that's where the book ends. Talk about a peculiar roller coaster. I swear so much happens in this book. So hopefully that hit the refresh button for you on everything that happens in book 2. Don't forget to join me on September 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live Miss Peregrine's Book Club chat on the Penguin Teen Facebook page. I'll also see you guys in an upcoming recap video for book 3, Library of Souls. Don't forget to stay peculiar and I'll see you guys later.